How many countries are there in the world? This question sounds simple, but it's actually very complicated. If you don't believe me, watch this video to the end. Make sure you watch it and you won't know how many countries there are in this world. Let's get started together. If you search on Google and ask how many countries are there in the world, there will be many results displayed and as low as 193. That's because now there are 193 members of the United Nations. Almost any country officially also joined this organization. But what if there are countries that don't participate? First, along with the 193 members of the United Nations, there are also 2 observer states, including the Holy See representing the Vatican City State in Palestine. Although not a full member of the United Nations, Vatican City is a country and is universally recognized as such. As for Palestine, is it a state or not? Palestinian state wants to return full member of the United Nations and applied for registration in November 2011, but this country is hard to get the opportunity to enter the United Nations because the United States does not allow it. As you probably know, in the Middle East Palestinians and Israelis have been at war for decades. And with Israel being a close ally of the US, regularly supported financially and militarily by the US always votes against Palestine. Not even the US wants Palestine to be an observer, let alone official country. But due to too many votes, the US had to accept. Anyway, the US does not recognize Palestine as a country. And the fact that Palestine also lacks an element, which a basic state has, that is, it does not have a clearly defined border. Because they are in dispute with Israel and Israel controls most of the land that is supposed to be Palestinian. Nowadays, many people consider Palestine a state, but many others do not. In the list of the US State Department, there are still 195 countries, including 193 members of the United Nations, Vatican City. And another character that is Kosovo. The Republic of Kosovo is considered by the United States as an Eastern European country, which declared independence from Serbia in 2008. However, Serbia did not accept it. They said that Kosovo is just one of our provinces. And now more than half of the members of the United Nations, which are 100 countries to be exact, have Kosovo as a country. Kosovo has not registered as a member of the United Nations. This is because the UN Security Council is divided on the issue of Kosovo's independence. While Britain, America, France both recognize Kosovo and have diplomatic relations with them, Russia and China do not. So, in your opinion, should Kosovo be considered a country? Next we have Taiwan. Even the United States as an ally of Taiwan dare not recognize Taiwan as an independent country. However, Taiwan has its own passport, its own president, its own government, its own military. They even participate in sporting events, like the Olympics and Soccer World Championships, and Taiwan's embassies are also present in most countries. But not many countries officially recognize Taiwan because it will confront China. Do you consider Taiwan a country? Then we have the UK. Of course the UK is a country, but within the UK it is made up of 4 other countries. Includes Scotland, England, Wales and Northern Ireland, so the UK is 1 country, or 4 countries. But if you consider it 4 countries, that's not really true, because in the case of Northern Ireland is so special. Let's find out a little more. In 1707 the Kingdom of Scotland and the Kingdom of England including Wales merged into the Kingdom of England. In 1801 the Kingdom of Iceland also joined to form the Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. But then in 1922 Ireland demanded to secede from the kingdom, to establish the Republic of Ireland. But in the old Ireland, there was a province that decided to stay with the UK and many people called it the country of Northern Ireland. So is Northern Ireland a country or not? Depending on how you think. Friend. Followed by the Netherlands, like the United Kingdom. The Netherlands actually established the Kingdom of the Netherlands including the Netherlands and 3 other countries including Aruba, Curaçao and Sint Maarten. Each country is equal and has its own government and its own currency. So the Netherlands is 1 or 4 countries. We have the Kingdom of Denmark, which holds the sovereignty of 2 autonomous countries, Zeeland and the island of Funen. Zeeland is the largest island in the world, not a continent and archipelago. Funen is a small archipelago in the north of Scotland. In France, there is also a small country, that is Polynesia, a country overseas, including an island in the South Pacific. Now we come to an even more complicated case, which is New Zealand, the country of Niue and the Cook Islands. These 3 countries are participating in an agreement called Free Association and in 3 countries, only New Zealand is recognized by the United Nations. Currently Niue has official diplomatic relations with more than 10 countries including China. So is Niue a country or not? If you're already starting to feel a headache, it's not over yet. We still have some regions that call themselves countries. But most countries in the world do not recognize it. For example, Somaliland, part of Somalia, has declared itself an independent country. But so far they have received absolutely no recognition from any country that is a member of the United Nations or another country. Not to mention there are some areas that have enough elements to form a country but they don't consider themselves a country, like Hong Kong or Puerto and Bermuda. Not to mention recently, in Ukraine, there are 2 provinces that have seceded and declared themselves a separate state, including Donetsk and Luhansk. And these 2 places are recognized by Russia as countries. So after watching this video, how many countries in the world do you think are really complicated? You say 193 is also reasonable, 195 is more correct, 200 is not wrong, but more is still okay. Depending on each person's point of view, this number is really interesting, isn't it? Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support IFACTS.